Jai Shri Ram. What is the difference between the modern meaning of history and itihasa, which is Ramayana and Mahabharata? You see, every Hindu has a problem defending his religion because these left lely, these bloody nuts, they will try to ask you uncomfortable questions as to how can it be that Bhima had strength of thousand, and this is all mythology, so it is unreal, and so don't mix up history with. And a staunch Hindu is likely to say, no, 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 this is itihasa, which means this is how it happened, and therefore this is our history. And in saying so, actually, he is on a weak wicket. He is not, because he cannot, and he cannot prove it, and it sounds rather unscientific too. So, what should, as a Hindu, you should do? So, let's do some due diligence, thorough research, comprehensive research. See, we must first understand what was the whole idea of itihasa. To put it in a nutshell, bottom line up front. You see, the modern version of history is simply recording when somebody was born, what battle he fought, where he won, and what he did. Now, this activity is purely academic, and it does not have any useful contribution to society other than you passing a test in history, mechanically producing, vomiting all the statistics. But Indian rishis, see, the Hindu culture is fundamentally spiritual, deeply philosophical, because we were concerned, as then and even now, about the more deeper questions of life. What exactly is the purpose of life? Why are we here? And who sent us here? Who the hell are we? Ontology. See, history is an ontic study. Ontic means about facts which can be proved. Ontology is the study of the nature of being. If you say I, who is that I? Eh? The nature of being. So it's not the body. Your body is your body, but who are you really? So Ramana Maharshi also Ramana Maharshi basically says, if you know who you are, then you will understand everything. So Hindu culture is fundamentally philosophical, deeply spiritual, metaphysical. So we were not concerned about petty, transient things of history, which are merely, mugging up data about who was born when and when he died and how many battles he fought and won. And they won't tell you what kind of destruction and nonsense. For example, Alexander was a bloody thug. I don't want to use any expletives, but he was a bisexual. That's his problem. And he died of 4 causes: alcoholism, mortal wounds, and he contracted Nile fever, and his stupid doctors did bloodletting. So he had a miserable death. Alexander was basically a dacoit, a bandit, and he is glorified as a great leader. So we were taught all kinds of nonsense as history. And what is the net result of all this history? You are producing more kinds of idiots in many Indian universities. These history professors are bloody good for nothing jokers who have memorized useless things. Whereas itihasa will try to instill a sense of culture, moral values, so that you build a better society. After all, the ultimate objective of any academic discipline should be to establish Ramarajya, an ideal society, utopia. Though that will be a pipe dream, but we must come somewhere near to utopia, right? So let's look at this. So this is a very interesting. So there is a difference between itihasa and history. There are so many other elements that come up. Of course, it's not that the entire thing is wrong. There is a core element of history and a lot of other things which are put in the Purusharthas, Dharmartha, Kama, Moksha, a lot of informal education. In ancient India, every evening people used to sit and listen to Ramayana, Mahabharata, and Purana. So that was the informal university. People learnt many things about many professions, about agriculture, about virtually everything informally in the evening. It's a kind of intellectual entertainment. Now it is all gone. You see that Urdu wood, they are producing trash jihad wood. So this is how it is. So the fundamental difference between the modern concept of history and the classical concept of itihasa lies in the purpose, method, and definition of the truth. Okay, let's take a deeper look now. While modern history aims to establish what happened through objective material evidence, itihasa preserves how it mattered to the human and spiritual evolution of a civilization. Okay. So the point here is history aims to establish what happened through objective material evidence. Itihasa preserves how it mattered. There is always a larger game, right? There is always a greater game, a larger game. Itihasa preserves how it mattered to the human and spiritual evolution of a civilization. That is why India is still a spiritual nation, right? And it is the duty of every Hindu to saffronize the whole world, spiritualize the whole world, Hinduize the whole world. Saffron, Agni represents three things: fearlessness, detachment, and therapeutic, purifying. Let's dig a little deeper. Key conceptual differences. Literal meaning: modern history, inquiry or research, from the Greek word historia. Itihasa, Ramayana and Mahabharata. Thus indeed it happened. Okay, literal meaning. Thus indeed it happened. Primary goal: reconstruction of past political, social, and economic facts. And the primary goal of Itihasa: maintenance of dharma and attainment of purusharthas. Right? Validation method: empirical data, archaeology, and contemporary documents. And what is the validation method of Itihasa? Testimonies of contemporary seer poets Valmiki and Vyasa. The narrative form: linear, chronological, and strict secular prose. And the narrative form for Itihasa is cyclic, experiential, poetic, and multi-layered epic poetry. Okay. And treatment of time: history treats time as something linear, timelines with exact dates, centuries, and eras, whereas Itihasa treats time as cosmic timelines, yugas, where events repeat cyclically. So you see, I'll read it again for you. Please listen carefully. As a Hindu, you will benefit immensely by listening carefully and understanding how to deal with this nonsensical criticism of the lay, librandu, gandu, librandu. Oh, you're not supposed to use are teri bhan. So, literal meaning is history has inquiry research, itihasa, thus indeed it happened. Primary goal is reconstruction of past political, social, and economic facts. Primary goal is maintenance of dharma and attainment of purusharthas, you see, which is a much bigger, more sublime goal than merely, rattling out, prattling out, blurting out statistics. Validation method: empirical data, archaeology, contemporary. Validation method is testimony of contemporary seer poets. Aptavakyam. Narrative: linear, chronological, strictly secular prose. Narrative is cyclic, experiential, poetic, and multi-layered epic poetry. Multi-layered. Frame tales. But within every story there are so many other stories. Right? And Purusharthas are enabled. Right? Treatment of time: linear timelines with exact dates and centuries and eras, cosmic timelines. Detailed breakdown of the differences: fact versus truth, empiricism versus wisdom. The modern history, it functions as an ontic discipline. Okay, there you go. Ontic is the new word. You must learn ontic. Relies on physical artifacts, carbon dating, external validation to establish a factual baseline. If a detail cannot be empirically verified, modern history excludes or labels it as unproven. Fine, we have no problem with that. Okay, and in India, the only book is Raja Tarangini. In Kashmir, a record of the kings and how they ruled, Raja Tarangini. Right? And of course, some history documents are there in the rest of the country also, but we never gave so much importance to history because our fundamental, drive is to achieve moksha, and so these purusharthas, dharma, artha, kama, moksha. So that is the summum bonum has to be achieved somehow or the other. That's the whole purpose of life. Itihasa, it functions as an ontological tradition. So history is ontic, an ontic discipline. Itihasa has an ontological tradition. So Bhagavad Gita is part of Mahabharata, as you know. 745 verses in the original. What is available in the market contains only 700 verses. It is a strange paradox. So many publishing houses, ISKCON, Gita Press, anyone, Ramakrishna Mutt, they have only published 700. How dare they? Who gives anybody the right to edit what Krishna said and eliminate 46 verses uttered by Krishna? Their answer is that Shankaracharya did this to prevent prakshiptam or interpolation, which is again a very weak argument, right? Weak argument for many reasons. I don't want to get into that now. There are many verses so exquisite and so wonderful. By the way, who the hell are you? And I don't think Shankaracharya would agree with this argument, right? Anyway, itihasa functions as an ontologic tradition, living civilizational memory. Ontological tradition, living civilizational memory. Kalhana, right, who wrote the Rajatarangani. Itihasa is a narration of past events integrated with instruction on dharma, artha, kama, moksha. The literal translation, thus indeed it happened, includes the multi-dimensional spiritual and moral experiences of a society, not just skeletal data points. Okay. What do you learn from that history? Somebody was born at a particular time, Alexander was born. He was a bloody wretched dacoit, nothing more than a bloody bandit, an alcoholic who killed his own friend who saved his life at one time, died a miserable death, destroyed entire civilizations, tried to destroy Zoroastrianism, burnt their cities, burnt their libraries. What kind of a man burns libraries, right? I would like to use the choicest expletives for this SOB, mofo. Okay. Rishi Valmiki sheltered Sita and raised Lava and Kusha in the Ramayana. Rishi Vyasa was the grandfather of the Pandavas and Kauravas and a direct witness to the events of the Mahabharata. They did not just compile archives, they recorded an eyewitness sacred reality. Wow. Linear versus cosmic purpose. Modern history focuses on an irreversible linear timeline where human progression moves forward, it answers who, when and where. Stephen Hawking said, the past, like the future, is uncertain and exists only as a spectrum of possibilities. I think these historians should read. These historians, Indian historians, are actually distorians, left liberal rascals who have told us lies. Itihasa operates in a cyclic time. It uses historical events to resolve timeless metaphysical crisis. Correct. Timeless metaphysical crisis. Look at Karna, tragic hero. Arjuna. Arjuna became victim of so many luxury beliefs. In the Arjuna Vishada Yoga, Arjuna starts spouting all kinds of luxury beliefs. That these fellows are atataina, they are criminals, they have no understanding. At least we are smart, we have moral integrity, so we should not kill them. And anyway, if we kill them, can we enjoy the kingdom with blood-stained hands? This kind of luxury beliefs, if our Indian soldiers start resorting this kind of talk, this country will be overrun by all kinds of scoundrels, right? Atataina. So get rid of all the luxury beliefs. Krishna will not tolerate any luxury belief. Okay. Chanakya explicitly in the Ardhashastra included itihasa in the core curriculum for training princes. It was taught alongside politics and economics because its primary value was practical ethical guidance on how to govern and live righteously. But Prithviraj Chauhan ignored it. Even Ramarayalu, Harihara Rayala, Ramarayalu, Aliya Ramarayalu, who was the king of Vijayanagara, he appointed two orphans whom he brought up as generals of the two divisions out of the four Muslim generals. And at the right time when the Bahmani sultans attacked Vijayanagara Empire to take revenge against Vijayanagara Empire, because Krishna Devraya defeated and humiliated them, Adil Shah, it is believed, even kissed the feet of Krishna Devraya to be let off. So at the last minute, these two rascals, the jihadis, they felt jihad is more important. They were orphans brought up by Aliya Ramarayalu. So look at the price that fake secularism has Hindus had to pay. For months together, women were raped, children were butchered, taken away as sex slaves. and everything was burnt down, looted, all because of a stupid belief that these people can also be human. They are mlechas, they can never be human. Read their books, read history, and don't tell me that all religions are good. That's a luxury belief. If you don't get rid of it, someday you and your family will be the victim. I'm not promoting any hatred. I am only telling you to wake up. The supernatural and the symbolic. Modern history rejects or secularizes anything that breaks the laws of physical nature. Itihasa does not decouple the material world from the spiritual or divine realm. The presence of extraordinary elements does not invalidate the core. Rather, it highlights the cosmic significance of human actions. Wow. So, would you like to look at the archaeological astronomical evidence used to study the historicity? That's also there, we know. Are you interested in how the concept of Puranas differ from? Okay, we will look at this later. I think this is enough for you now. So don't be worried. History and itihasa have completely different functions. History is a mere academic exercise, whereas itihasa tries to create men and women of character so that we establish a better society, and that I think is a greater goal. Jai Shri Ram.